Well, that was an awful lot of fun. This is Corey, and this is the O The Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. Welcome to episode 291, no matter what you may see otherwise, of the O The
Fake
Anthem
news
podcast.
out there is rampant.
Fake news. Coming to you from the hashtag OTA LA studios, high above the 110 freeway in downtown Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for listening on your podcatcher of choice. Again, I don't know how many times I must say it. The easiest way to find it is to go to anchor.fm/O The Anthem. That will take you to wherever you get your fine podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, everywhere. Just go to anchor.fm/O The Anthem, find your podcatcher there, and enjoy the show on a weekly basis. It'll download right to you.
And, of course, you can find everything O The Anthem at otheanthem.com. Yes, also, you can find O The Anthem at O The Anthem on Twitter and Instagram. You're watching live right now at facebook.com/O The Anthem, where we record every episode live. You don't want to miss those. Make sure you go on there. You'll watch the video. You'll get a notification every 15 seconds or so that you're not following the notifications, and you have this turned on. All the videos will also be available at youtube.com/O The Anthem. And as I said, everything O The Anthem, including the O The Anthem store, is available at otheanthem.com.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes. So we have a lot to talk about. I realized I didn't put this on the show itinerary, but I feel like I should.
Oh, the freshly shaven face.
I'm a little upset that we didn't record a little closer to the day I shaved because as a manly man, I've already started. I'm basically at, I don't know, like 2 days. 2 days, it'll be right back to like just where the scruff where I like to have it. So, but yeah, I am, of course, I didn't shave for no reason. I wouldn't shave for no reason. It's part of my independence from being an attorney. So I need to have my beard. But I am participating in No Shave November, which of course is a charity event where you donate the money you would pay for shaving utensils and supplies to very good cause for men's health, colorectal cancer, the other one, prostate cancer. And they actually brought on St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital as a one of the charities that they support this year as well. So if you are interested, I'll get the link to Corey. I hope he can put it in the show notes. Donate $1, $5, $10. I think my goal that I said is $200 by the end of the month. Perfectly reasonable. I'm on a team with everyone at work. We're trying to raise $2,000 as a company. So $200 means that I can cover 1/10, and I think that we have like 15 people or so. So I'm looking to as the boss, do my part to try and raise some money. So you have the link there, or you can go check out my Facebook page, my Facebook public page now. Instagram, it's basically the links available everywhere. So go check that out.
I think I could break off a couple shillings for that.
Hey, well, I mean, as Roberto, friend of the show, Roberto pointed out, you are now a rich and stylish man, and yet I'm sitting next to a dude in a Ravens jersey yet again for another week.
Well, this is high style for me. I like nothing is more luxurious than the drapery of winnings.
Oh, and what you can't see is the joggers and the Uggs that are underneath the desk here. So, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of style.
It's like fuck, what's the expression? Find a girl on the streets and a freak in the bed. Like it's sort of like
I'm a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. Is that
like
what you mean?
I'm like a Lamar up top and a Tom Brady on the bottom with the Uggs and the joggers.
I do want to get into the Lamar controversy, and by that I don't mean what's on the field. I mean what's on Twitter. And let's do that. But first of all, of course, guys, we're talking about sports ball. Yes. All right. So off the top. We have a couple of the topics we want to talk about, but the Ravens were victorious once again this week. And a lot of crow being eaten in my office this morning.
Oh, were there some Patriots fans?
Oh, no, not Patriots fans, but it was like, listen, it's easy for a rookie quarterback to look good when he's playing this team or that team. And Patrick Mahomes, one of the guys is a Kansas City fan. I will note, I talked zero shit when Patrick went down with a knee injury. I said, it's fucking tragic. Let's hope this is more like not RG3 and just slight injury and he'll be back. Turned out he's going to be back in like 6 or 8 weeks. So good. Because those games are exciting games. I want to see Lamar playing Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield for the next
I don't
decade.
want Patrick Mahomes out.
No.
Like, I just like watching him play.
He makes the game better.
I don't want him, like, doing really well against me, but that's not an injury thing. I just hope that's the day where he decides to throw a bunch of interceptions.
That was our defense's fault, not necessarily their offensive fault. So yeah, everyone was talking a lot of trash about how like, oh, well, you're about to go play the Patriots, so it'll be a whole new experience for you. But it turns out not that different from most weeks. I don't know. It's
one thing I like about the Ravens in regards to the Patriot games is that a lot of other teams get really nervous when they're playing the Patriots. Like, oh, we got to think about every single option because Belichick can out-scheme you. And, like, I'm worried that I'm a Falcons fan. I'm worried that the Patriots are going to find some way to outsmart us and beat us. The Ravens as a team and, like, Harbaugh as a coach never seem to be intimidated much by playing the Patriots. It's kind of like when the Yankees were good and the Yankees Red Sox rivalry for a while.
Yeah,
it was like everyone was afraid to play the Yankees except for the Red Sox, who were just like they're on our level. And I think that last night was a great example of that. They came in, they weren't kowtowing to them at all. They just played their game.
We gave them seizures with the lights at the stadium.
That's part of our strategy. I love those lights too. That's so good.
I mean,
I really want to see, like, I wish the Ravens would just put out a video of like the intros, but like from like a high angle, like
so
up in the 300 level, so you can see all the lights going off at the same time.
But I didn't even realize that we haven't had the experience because I bet the lights are doing that on Sunday afternoon too. We just from TV we can't tell that. I don't
think they've been doing it during the day games that I know of.
It's just a night effect.
I mean, like, I don't really think it would influence much during the day.
No, but it's just a way to do it, something to do. When you spend, $100 million or whatever they spent on upgrades over the off season, it's like, no, you use that motherfucker. I don't. First down, no, use it. I don't care. It's
Flash away.
We spent an awful lot of money. I expect that thing to get used regularly. Thank you. Wait, maybe I'm just channeling my mom. Just like everything is like, are you not wearing your new shoes? I'm about to go play in the mud. You go outside, you wear your new shoes. Like, I don't think you're thinking this through, Mom. It doesn't make much sense.
There was a article I read a long time ago about the deal that the Bengals have with the state of Ohio and Cincinnati over how the upgrades are supposed to work at their stadium. And there was something in the contract about like that if a certain percentage of teams in the NFL have a certain technology, then the state of Ohio or Cincinnati or whoever has to provide that technology for Paul Brown Stadium.
Yeah.
So I think the example they used in like the thing is like if holographic replays come into the NFL, then you must equip Paul Brown Stadium with that technology. Yeah. And that's part of like us being a leaseholder at the stadium kind of thing. And everyone was like laughing and like, what kind of nonsense is that? But now I bet like a whole bunch of stadiums add like flashing lights to their whole like. That's going to be a thing that a lot of teams start doing, I think.
It was a good effect, and it played well on TV. I can't imagine what it was like in the stadium.
Yeah,
it had to be fantastic. So imagine like they always do the darkness on the night games. That then comes up when the players come out, but like the ability to be like.
Well, they couldn't do the dark. No, they couldn't do that before.
Is that what it is? They weren't able to do it.
Part of the improvements they made to the stadium was they replaced all the lights.
Okay.
Now the lights before would have to power on, so they'd be on all the time because it would take like an hour for them to get like up to.
I was watching the Super Bowl and I'm pretty sure that I saw the lights.
No,
like,
that one's a little bit different. That wasn't planned. That was a inadvertent power outage.
That was one brother playing a big prank on the other brother.
That was Robert Goodell in Park Avenue offices going like, dead.
This game's getting out of hand. Anyway, so I do want to give you an opportunity, since you are wearing the Lamar jersey, to regale the fans with the tale of how that jersey came to be on your body.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wait. And to talk as much shit about Fanatics as you possibly can.
So, I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know how much sports merchandise people buy. I haven't bought an NFL jersey in a while.
I haven't bought a legitimate one in a while.
The last one I bought was a CJ Mosley jersey, and I think that was in his like second year. So I've been rocking the same jersey for like 4 years now. About
I have a Suggs jersey.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was from that Chinese knockoff site that we
see, but
all got
Suggs is
jerseys
kind of
from.
timeless. Like for this season, I've been wearing Ray Lewis because like
It's
no
one of
matter
those.
what, it's like it's always in fashion kind of thing.
And who's the other jersey I have? Lime.
Doomerville.
Doomerville.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He had a solid 1.5 years.
Listen, I have a soft spot for the safety position because also I like a guy who's got a cheer.
He's a linebacker.
No, is he?
Yeah.
That's whatever.
Sounds bad for them too.
That's the position I played, and actually that's what I was thinking about when I was in my mind. I was thinking, I'm like, all right, that's not the line; it's the safety behind him, right? Now it's a middle linebacker, and then the safeties over there. Anyway, I have a soft spot for a guy who has a cheer. Todd Heap.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Justin Tucker.
And Tucker we trust.
I think people just shout his name.
Yeah.
Both women in his personal life and fans in the stands.
Tucker!
But every time that Doomerville would lay like one of those hits that you can hear up in the 300 level, it would just be like doo. I just enjoy. I enjoy that. Also, I like defensive player jerseys. If those two jerseys did not give it away.
Yeah.
Because offense is overrated, and not that it's overrated. It's that. We didn't have football for a long time, and then we came and got a football team, and the offense sucked for a really long time. So it's like, let's just cheer for the defense.
Like up until this year, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Flacco had a couple good years, but
Flacco never really had like a top offense kind of thing.
Well, he's an elite quarterback.
There were great running backs, and Flacco was all right, but there was never like a wide receiver to be seen on this team.
Yeah. By the way, Denver, enjoy that.
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
I love the fact that he's on injured reserve now with a literal pain in the neck, which is what I imagine he's causing Denver at the moment.
How much is that going to cost him? What is his contract this year?
Oh, I'm sure he gets paid regardless. I'm just.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. They're paying him to be on injured reserve, and next year he's going to be another year older.
Well, so I was listening to a football podcast not too long ago, and I was just like, they were talking about NFL quarterback salaries right now, and they're just like, this guy's getting paid $37 million, and this guy's getting paid $35 million. Somehow, Joe Flacco is reasonably priced at this point. Meanwhile, everyone when this contract was signed was just going like, oh my god, at the end you're going to be paying Joe Flacco $25 million a year. That's absurd money.
Yeah.
And now it's like
he's injured a lot.
now Blake Bortles makes that reckon up. Like it's just like
first of all, Blake Bortles should make that no matter what position he's playing.
I know that's hyperbole. That's not really what he's getting paid. But I'm just saying, like, I think that it's funny. Like every single time we hear a sports contract, we're always just like, oh my god, the ungodly son. Like I remember I was watching Ken Burns baseball, and they were talking about Barry Bonds signing the richest contract in baseball.
Yes,
and just like, brace yourselves, he's gonna get paid $3 million a year, and people were just like, holy shit.
But
$3 million to play baseball?
That was in $6? $91. So that's like what, like $1.5 billion now. Inflation is a motherfucker.
Meanwhile, people at McDonald's are still making $10 an hour.
Yep. That's how it works. Poor stay poor. Poor get poor. Rich get richer.
Yeah.
Anywho, question is, this is a machine to kill facets. Thank you, Alex Trebek. Anyway, yes, your story.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've recognized this in the last couple years, but Fanatics has sort of just taken over the world of sports merchandise. The NFL, the MLB, NBA, and NHL all have their in-house shops through Fanatics. Like they're the people who it's like Ticketmaster. Like if you're buying tickets for any of these games, most of the time you have to go through Ticketmaster to be able to buy the tickets.
Much like Ticketmaster, I go to the knockoff apps and get the other tickets from other places because I'm not paying Ticketmaster.
Right.
But yes.
So, I mean, like, in a way, it's all good because the way the Fanatics had sort of sold itself is like we never have to worry about like physical inventory of specific items because we have everything we need to be able to make items quickly if there's a huge demand. So if a lot of people want to buy Lamar Jackson jerseys, we have a whole bunch of blank Raven jerseys. And if it looks like it's going to take a while for our stock to get out, we'll just print a Lamar Jackson jersey and send it out, and it's good as new. That was the
basically
CEO.
the same. It's
that was
same,
the CEO talking about it, and how he created such a competitive advantage for himself. I ordered a Lamar Jackson jersey 2 weeks ago, saying to myself, like, well, we have the bye week this week, and I want to have it for the Sunday night game, so I should probably order it now. When I order it, it says, like, we'll ship next business day. I get an email after I order it saying, we'll ship tomorrow. We'll arrive by next Monday. So this past Monday. And I'm just like, great. Monday rolls around.
Sidebar there.
Yeah.
We talked about this before, but the unbelievable inconvenience that it would take 5 business days for me to be shipped something at this point.
And the fact that I had to pay $12 to get 5-day business shipping.
You're
like
charging me to not get it here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Wait. Is this available on Amazon? I can just get that delivered to me directly in 2 days. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Well, anywho,
by the way, CEO of Fanatics, not only do you not suck, but you can't work something out to get better shipping rates as much as they have to be shipping. I mean, it's not Amazon, but I feel like they have to have a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, work on that. Also, this.
So Monday rolls around, and I haven't received the jersey. And I haven't received any shipping information either, even though sometimes I do buy things online and I don't get shipping information. It just shows up. So, like, not everything is like Amazon where, like, you get the, like, your order's on the way. Here's the tracking number, blah, blah,
We are so spoiled. It's just, that
I remember back in the day where you used to order things off the phone and then, like, they'd show up like 8 to 9 months later.
My dad.
If you weren't there when the guy came to deliver it, then he would come back the next day.
Listen, my dad at one point got mail delivery once a week, and if you weren't there to sign for your package, hopefully it's gonna come back in a week and not get returned to sender. But also. He told me a story once when I was complaining about like 4-day shipping, 4-day shipping at that point, back in the early aughts.
Yeah.
About how at one point to order something in the mail, you clipped out the thing and you filled it out, and then you put your like 35 cents in, which is like, Apple stock value right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sent it away. And oftentimes you would get the thing and forget that you had actually sent away your money to get it. It would be like 9 months later, and this thing would show up, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah,
oh that's right, I did want a lemon zester,
a decoder ring." This probably made sense to 5-year-old me, but since I'm about to go off to the army, I'm not really sure this makes sense.
Oh, anymore. I was drunk that night. I ordered this knife set.
I wonder. How once the Sears and Roebuck catalog came in, how often were people drunkenly ordering
shopping
stuff?
at home?
And like, was there a person at Sears and Roebuck who's like, Jim, I got another one. I can't read this. And Jim's wife's an alcoholic, but he doesn't say anything about it. But that's how he can read it, because she's putting a shopping list in her drunken ass handwriting.
Right,
he's like, I'm a professional at this.
He's got the seer stones that he can like. It turns into English when he looks at it the right.
He's just like, oh, yeah. Okay, wait. So if this is not a case of wine, this is definitely a children's play place. That's what that is. Yeah. So let's ship that out.
With the wine.
They did, in fact, send the 35 cents for shipping to get the children's play place there. So I think we're good. Yeah, let's send this 900-pound item through the mail for 35 cents. Anyway, sorry, go ahead, yes.
So Monday rolls around. I haven't received my jersey, so I figure I'll call and like figure out what's going on.
As a reasonable person might.
Yeah. So I sit through hold and everything like that. Eventually, I get through, and the woman says, "Well, you ordered a special event item. I don't know why you would expect it so quickly." And I'm like, "What? What is a special event item? Because this seems like a pretty standard thing, like a regular NFL jersey of a popular player."
I'm looking at it now, and I thought maybe it was like a like rookie special edition. I see nothing on it.
Or like even like the NFL 100 logo.
Yeah.
Like maybe that would have made it a special item per se or something like that.
It looks like a pretty standard Ravens jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, this isn't the one that I never actually got the one from Fanatics. I had to buy this from Nike directly. But
that's true. Yes, I forgot about that part. Sorry.
So maybe that one has some sort of special like some patch on here going like "Will not kneel for flag" or something like that.
No, it's a signature series. The 11-year-old Chinese boy who's putting it together actually signs the inside and lets you know that international commerce works.
Thank you so much. Inspected by number 4. So I call up and they say, "This is a special event item. Why are you expecting it so quickly?" I'm like, "I have an email saying I should get it by today." Eventually I got the manager who like had to apologize for the first person. It's just like, don't pay attention to her. And then he's just like, "All right, so since you ordered it, we ran out of stock. So we're waiting for more to come in. We should get them today. And I will send it out immediately tomorrow. And for the trouble, I'm going to refund your shipping cost." And I'm like, "Well, if you're refunding shipping cost, why don't you just imagine that I ordered 2-day shipping so that it can get here as quickly as humanly possible and then just refund that?" He's just like, "Got it." And so took the shipping cost off, and I had the guarantee from this guy who spoke English, like clearly sent from like an Indian call center to somebody in the States who was like,
This is
I'm the floor manager of a place that clearly is not anywhere near the floor you were just talking to.
This is your fatal flaw. You think you are such a strong negotiator that you did not question when this gentleman was like, "What? Yeah, free 2-day shipping. Let's do it." You're just like,
"Well, no, he
boy, am I a shrewd negotiator."
He made assurances to me that it was going to ship the next day and that I was going to receive it by Friday.
Well, listen.
And I'm like, "Great."
You can always trust that. That girl at the club the other night
who really definitely wants to go out with you.
Yeah, really strong assurances that she really liked you a lot. And then the money ran out.
Yeah. Anywho, the next day rolls around. I get an email from Fanatics. My item is not going to ship that day as promised. And instead it will ship out on November 20th, which is still fucking 16 days from now.
That still gives you a solid month of the season to wear the jersey.
That wouldn't even arrive in time for the Monday Night Football game that is happening like 4 weeks from now. Like, it's ridiculous. And I called.
You might get it. You might get it on the 25th. Like, as we're walking out the door.
Late as possible is November 20th. And so I call up again. And again, the person who I spoke to in Slovenia or whatever was talking about like, "Yeah, well, we're having a lot of problems getting that item in stock." And I'm just like, "Why are you having problems getting that item in stock? I thought you guys made everything in factory." It's just like, no, we don't do that. It's just like, "Well, what's the problem with getting the thing?" It's like, "I don't know, some sort of labor dispute." I'm like, "Okay, great." I was like, "Well, a manager told me that it would be shipping today. So can I speak to a manager about this situation?" He's just like, "Yeah, sure." And he sends me off to the manager. I talked to the manager about the the labor dispute, of which he claims there is none, and the fact that these things aren't in stock, where he's just like, "Well, they're definitely going to be in stock." And I'm just like, "All right, great." Somebody said they were gonna have them in today, and that they were gonna put it into a thing and send it right away. He's just like, "Nobody should have promised you that. Nobody knows that." And I'm just like, "Well, that's what was promised to me. So what can be done?" He's just like, "Nothing." I'm like, "Great. Cancel the order, please, because I'm not waiting until the 20th to receive this."
I just love that everyone in like wherever in the world they were actually taking your call from was doing everything possible to keep your order in the system.
Yeah.
And this dude's just like, "Nah." Last time you got the guy who really likes his job and was trying anything to keep it. Like, "I'm not gonna be able to keep any of these promises, but I want this guy to keep his order in." This dude's just like, "Fire me." "Nope, nobody should have promised you that. Nope, we are a horrible company. We can't do the things we promise." "Cancel your order?"
Yeah.
"Sure. Give me your first name. Let's do this."
Well, the thing too is like, I kept like, the manager was like laughing along with like the hypotheticals I was making. I was like, like, if I ordered a pizza from Domino's and it said it would be here in a half hour, and then half hour passes and I call up and I say, "Hey, where's my pizza?" And they're like, "Oh, we swear to God, the guy's leaving right now." I'd be like, "Oh, great." And then an hour and a half passes and I still haven't seen the guy. And I call up and I say, "Hey, where's my pizza? You said the guy was out the door with it." And it's like, "Well, actually, we don't have anything to make pizzas today."
But
nobody told you before.
Yes.
But in a couple days, when we do get pizza ingredients, we'll send you a pizza. And I'm just like, "Well, I wanted pizza tonight, not 3 days from now." It's just like, "Well, we'll process you a refund. It'll take 94 to 87 business days."
Listen, goddamn millennials.
Eventually,
want everything right now, always now.
Well,
Your
I mean,
pizzas, your jerseys.
Just this week, you had Halloween makeup show up like a week late, and Roberto had like a Halloween costume piece like arrive like 2 days ago, and like
I'm like, as I opened the package, I said, "There is no way
who
that
fucks
this is
this
gonna
up?
be."
Like,
You work at a Halloween store, and as you're dropping this in the mail, you're saying to yourself, "Ooh, we really should have done this a couple days ago. Really missed this order. It's gonna arrive. Hey, when do you think this will get there?" And the mailman looks at the package, and he's like, "I don't know, November 3rd." And you're like, "Yeah, let's just go ahead and send it. Maybe it's a late party. It's fine."
I just imagine that like, you know, like I put my Fanatics order in and I sent it off, and it goes to like Fanatics HQ, and some guy just like prints it off of like the dot matrix printer and like rips it off, and he looks, and he's just like, "Fucking football jersey in October? What the fuck? Who does the guy think he is?" Like,
you should have thought ahead, brother.
We don't have those.
No, see, and based on the delivery and shipping
Why
time,
would somebody want to order a football jersey during football season? It's like, order it in April like the rest of us. Idiot.
First of all, you should have prepped ahead of time.
I should have thought about it.
I imagine he rips it off the dot matrix printer, and he looks at it and then shuffles it and then hands it over to Ethel. And Ethel's like, "Jackson, got it."
Starts. No, these are clearly like ironed on at this point. Like, it's not.
Oh, so she then takes the hot iron or the iron and sits it on the stove, and she just like, "Let's light this up, okay? All right, Ethel, when's that gonna be ready?" I don't know. November 20th. I think we'll be good. Yeah. What? But tell him it's gonna be tomorrow. I don't know.
It's awfully hard to light this iron with a lighter. If only I was provided with better materials from Fanatics.
Or meanwhile, yeah, it's actually not Ethel. It's a child in the third world, and they're ironing with a cold iron. And they're like, "If you want heat, you need to work faster." And it's like,
blow on it. Your breath is 98.6 degrees.
we poke fun, but child labor in the third world is a serious issue.
Yeah, one that Fanatics, I'm absolutely positive, is responsible for.
100%.
So,
and you know who's
enjoy
not
that.
responsible for that? Nike, whose jersey you decided to buy. They're definitely not using third world
Well, the problem
labor.
is, like, if you want a jersey from somebody who's not in the market in which you live, like if I was a Rams fan and I wanted an Aaron Donald jersey, I could have one in an hour. I could go to any number of places and pick that up. But if you want somebody who's out of town, like, what do I do? Like, call up Greetings and Ratings and be like, "Yo, put a jersey in a bag and send it to me." Like, my options are limited. So, like, literally all I had was, I tried, like, ordering it from Dick's, too. Like, I was just like, fuck Fanatics, I'll order it on Dick's. And then I go to Dick's website, and they sell NFL jerseys, but it's just sort of like, "Do you want this white Lamar Jackson jersey in extra small?" And I'm just like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, that's all we have." I'm just like, who the fuck wants that? Like, who's playing? Where's the guy in Dick's going like, "Oh, this Lamar Jackson character is awfully popular. Let's have as little many jerseys as possible." And stuff.
That's why I love small businesses, because there's a place in Virginia, and I saw a shirt online, and I was like, I really want it. And everywhere I found was out of stock.
Yeah.
But I found it at a little place, and literally called them and was just like, "Hey, so here's the deal. I see that you don't have my size, but I'm really looking for this shirt." Got off the phone with me, called around to other places, found it, got it, shipped it to me, and no premium whatsoever. Yeah. Now, got themselves a 5-star review on Google. And when you are me and you have 109,000 views on your reviews, maybe that's important. Maybe it's not. Maybe people take what I say kind of seriously. I don't know. But
I mean, I guess
for you, small businessman.
I guess we're at the point now where Fanatics either has all the people who listen to this podcast hound them about how terrible they are, and they go like, "Wow, we pissed off the wrong person. Maybe we shouldn't be such a horrible business anymore." Or, like, nothing happens, and that's fine, too. But it's just like...
Listen, fine people out there on the internet. We got ourselves a suite at the Flamingo, thanks to you.
At the very least, I vented.
Well, we got a suite at the Flamingo, thanks to the listeners responding to what we said. I could still use a jersey, I'm just saying. So maybe you just shout out Fanatics about how horrible they are. I think it's at Fanatics, right? Yeah. And just let them know. And maybe we get another jersey. It's fine.
There you go.
Yes, Fanatics, if you find this, I don't know what the sizes are.
If you find this deeply unsettling, then you too can make us right.
I would love to give you an outstandingly glowing review, not only on Google, but here on the podcast. And all that would take is...
yes, we complain, but we can be bought.
Yes, absolutely. We can be bought. If there's one lesson, that's it.
I just like how Rob goes from 1 week just going like, guillotines for everyone. And the next week it's just like, I have to talk to you about the fantastic experience I had with Fanatics.com getting my Hollywood Brown jersey.
I will get back to guillotines later in this episode. But we've now talked 25 minutes about the Fanatics and the Ravens. Ravens won versus the Pats. Let's go
Great game.
It was a very good game, very entertaining. Let's lightning around the rest of our sports ball stuff here.
Yeah.
A team which shall not be named won the World Series, and they can all rot in hell. Hey, do they still need all of the money from the Masson?
Oh, they'll
deal?
get it.
I know, but do they need it? Now they're a World Series champion. You think that they would drop it, but they won't because it's DC, and everyone in DC sucks.
Everybody, by the way, all of you were fans of Orioles or some other team like, a decade ago or whatever it was at this point. And you're all acting like, oh, the Washington hasn't won a World Series since 1925. It's like, shut the fuck up. You're not like some bereaved franchise. Like, don't act like.
Yeah. Look at Montreal and look at their fans who don't have a team and don't have a World Series right now. You stole their team.
I would so much rather this be the Expos World Series. I would be so happy. I would have been watching this World Series like just glowing from ear to ear if it was the Expos in the world. Like finally after all this time. They had Bryce Harper, and then he left, and now they're all by themselves, and they've managed to put this scrappy team together. Oh, I'd love them.
Maybe they'll get a new stadium finally.
They're still playing in the Stadium de Olympique.
Yes, which I think was built for the 60-something games.
Like 72, I think, or
Ooh,
whatever.
that is an old stadium. Man.
I always liked how they basically had a thing like holding the roof up. Like the Metrodome had the same sort of like look, and then it collapsed, and it's just like they're just like, we prepared for this situation.
Yes.
We have large tower that hold
middle.
up roof. Like
That's Canadian engineering, man. You got it.
I like my Montreal accent of just like barely
that was
French.
way more Quebec than oh wait, it's Montreal in Quebec. It is in Quebec. Yes. Are the people in the city all super French?
Yeah.
All right, I take back everything I said. The Expos, you deserved everything that you got coming to you. So
take that, Montreal.
Good. Enjoy.
Second largest city in Canada, I think. Is
I was about to talk shit about it not being the largest city, but I'm like, DC is not even close to being the largest city in the United States. Yeah. Oh, anyway, so one other thing. The NCAA ruled that they can start paying players.
Well, that's a charitable way of putting that.
What do you mean? The players won. They've been struggling for years, and they finally won.
Last week, Governor Gavin Newsom of California here said that the NCAA wasn't allowed to not pay the players in any means for what happened. And then the NCAA sort of saw that, like, without California, this whole like college sports thing is a little problematic.
Yeah, I think we have like 12,000 colleges in the NCAA right now.
So they were just like, this seems like it's going to be a problem that is going to become bigger, and let's get ahead of it now. And that's sort of where they are.
And I think it's only Division I. It's only Division I sports that make some kind of money.
I think they're going to figure out any way they possibly can to not make this matter at all. Like, I'm sure that every player is going to get an even cut from their likeness in EA Sports, NCAA football 2020 or whatever. But like, the idea that, you're going to be able to buy the star player's jersey and like have a Lamar Jackson jersey from Louisville he gets any of this money is a ridiculous pipe dream in which you are ridiculous.
However, if you want to play, I don't know, women's golf right now at a college, now's the time, because they are going to start dumping money into non-Division I sports.
Well, I mean, so a lot of this too, just from the California ruling, to like get around it. Like they were making the arguments that like players were getting, like, listen, if you're a member of the USC crew team, you're getting a Nike outfit to wear to your thing. And that Nike outfit isn't free. We pay for that for every player. And therefore, like, they're not expected to get paid for the time that they are rowing because they are getting a free Nike outfit every couple weeks. Like,
and the football program, by the way, pays for all of that.
Yeah.
Which is not true. I mean, it is true, but it also pays for 1,000 crew members who they have 10 on the team. So, or is it a team? Is it crew?
Yeah.
Crew team? Because crew is a sport.
Yeah.
Rowing is when it's you or one other person. Crew is when it's an entire
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
And there's a guy at the front going like, stroke, stroke, stroke.
Yeah, I want to be that guy.
Can you imagine? I lettered in crew. What'd you do? I called out stroke every second.
I yelled at people.
Yeah, that's my kind of sport. I really would enjoy that.
Of course, everyone would be looking at me like, listen, maybe we'd be a lot better at crew if we didn't have a 300-pound guy at the front of the boat that we're fucking carrying around. So, like, listen.
The guys in the back of the boat aren't even touching the water. They're just like,
don't get on me. Nobody yells at you guys better than me.
Yeah, also, I don't know that... That was a little... I'm not going to say that was mean. I'm just going to... No, it's okay. Anyway, so the NCAA is kneeling down to the rule of the future president of the Republic of California, which, as well they should. What happens when the NCAA of California leaves the Republic? If it leaves the union, because it's a national...
Yeah, national collegiate.
And if we're not part of the national anymore, what happens? Oh, the INCAA.
We have the CCAA.
California?
Yeah.
That sounds like a correctional, some sort of correctional league. California Correctional Athletics Association.
Where the hell did you play last season? California Penal? Anyway, that's sports ball.
Hey, guy, you got to give me a little heads up.
Sorry.
I got nothing on the sports ball. Well, speaking of California leaving the union.
Yes.
If there was going to be someone who would drive us out, and you know what? I regret, in many ways, calling for the election of Donald Trump in 2016.
Oh, you're finally having some regrets, I see.
Which, if you watched the podcast back then, I said, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Hillary's a terrible person. She'll make a terrible president. So will he. But at least he's a wild card. Little did I know. I had no concept of what exactly was going to happen. But the one good thing that might come out of it is if he keeps fucking with us, we are going to leave. And I think it might be a good thing. If he wins in 2020, which, by the way, it's not a pipe dream for him to win in 2020.
Yeah.
He is up in national polling. So, I mean, yes, there are more Republicans than ever that want to see him impeached.
In a head-to-head against all the top Democratic candidates, the Democrats are ahead. But I will say this: it's all hypothetical right now because, at some point we're gonna get around to, let's just flash forward and say Biden wins the nomination, right? Then we're going to get a whole bunch of people who are Bernie and who are Elizabeth Warren and Harris and everybody who are just like, I ain't voting for no fucking Biden. So then we're gonna be in the same goddamn situation we were last time, where everyone's just like, oh, I don't want Kamala Harris to be president. I'd rather it be anybody but her. And then it's just like Trump, and it's just like, well, not him either, but Kristen Gillibrand's running third party, so I guess I'll vote for her.
The problem
really
is
stick it to him.
The hypothetical nature of the polls is that they might ask, would you vote for a Democrat or for Donald Trump? And you, Democratic voters, say, Democrat, of course, yeah. And then they're going to say, would you vote for Biden over Donald Trump? And you, Democratic voters, say, I will never vote for Biden, but it's not going to be Biden, so I don't have to worry about that. So, of course, I'll vote for Biden.
Clearly, it's going to be Elizabeth Warren.
But then eventually, it's not Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
It's Joe Biden, and you're sitting there like, oh, I'm just not going to vote, and then it's 2016 again, and then President Trump is back, and then the Republic of California splits off. Because here's the deal, America. We send you more money than we get back, and you can threaten to take away our wildfire money, and that's fine. We'll take away other things from you and used that money on the wildfires. So, and we're gonna put tariffs on all your goods coming in.
I was
and make you pay for the wall.
Let me say this about California real quick.
And there you go. Okay.
It's a Democratic bastion, and everything is done exactly the way the Democrats would like it to be done.
Yes.
If they had the whole nation to themselves. The problem is that Democrats are way up in their own head about every single little tiny detail about how, like, I was talking about like marijuana with somebody recently, and I'm just like,
really? Never would have thought.
It came up in casual conversation. In California, though, now that it's recreational too, they had to like completely change up the whole system that they had of how like these businesses could operate. And people who were like completely legal for 20 years, all of a sudden were illegal overnight, and they had to like go through all the different permitting and like, we promised to do this and that and the other thing. And if you found out they were in violation, they were just shut down. There wasn't like a warning system or anything like that.
Do you ever go to the dispensary? If you were no, it's fine. Do you ever go to the dispensary up on Sunset in Echo Park? Or a dispensary up in that way?
I had been to one.
Okay. There have been 4 in the last month that got shut down.
Yeah.
And I keep going past there in Ubers and seeing like people standing outside on the wall. And I'm like, is this an illegal dispensary? What's the deal? And the driver finally on the last one told me it's like either it's illegal and then they're just shutting it down and arresting people, or they don't have permits. And technically, if you're a bud tender at one that's not permitted, it's the same as it being an underground dispensary.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know. Your boss is like, no, everything's cool. We're fine. And then the cops come in one day and you're against a wall. So.
But I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, it's a legal product. You can buy, like, fucking THC at 7-Eleven now. Like,
there are people in jail less than 5 miles from here for marijuana. And you know what's closer than that jail?
A dispensary?
The Apple Store of pot.
Yeah. The
biggest square in the world, walks in and like, I don't know what I want. And the guy's like, well, come with me. You will see. Breaks into a musical number.
I just, like, the fact that, like, it's taken I get where California's coming from. They don't want to have, like, somebody, like, die from some sort of, like, laced pot from, like, some crazy lunatic who, like, you're like, oh, I'm going to make some purple and I'm going to put some fucking codeine in it and it's just going to drive people nuts. You know?
If you buy it from that dude, you deserve to die.
No, but I mean, like,
that is natural selection.
They're worried that, you know, the big jug of pot that they have is going to be laced with something and a bunch of people are going to die, and then they're going to be like, California system's all fucked up and it's Gavin Newsom's fault. You know? That's the fever dream they have.
Yes, that's the political paranoia.
Every single piece of marijuana needs to be perfectly traced from where it was grown to where it is. It needs to have a safety thing on it. And only these corporations are allowed to grow weed now. And none of the people who were growing it before, because they're all in jail, because fuck them. And if you want to go buy an eighth of something, it's going to cost you $75 because this one's called LA Kush, and they need to spend a lot on their marketing. And yeah, they also gave a lot of money to Gavin Newsom to run for governor.
Listen, that doesn't have anything to do with it.
Irregardless of trying to keep these dangerous potheads off the street. I mean, give it to them legally. I mean, like, there's a whole bunch of regulations, right? Like, the whole thing's just fucked up. And as much as I probably will be voting for a Democrat, any Democrat who isn't Donald Trump, I am increasingly worried that, like, Elizabeth Warren's like, you know, like, oh, I have a great plan for Medicare. Is this going to be like, no, this is going to be a huge fucking mess. Like it always is when Democrats get involved in things.
And like I said, I have a solution.
That's why I like a Democratic executive with Republicans in the House and the Senate to just keep this shit in line.
No, it doesn't work anymore because they used to have rules, and now they're like, it's a Thursday. What should we do? Nuclear option. All right, let's do it. Yeah. There are no rules. Thomas Jefferson said young men should come from the countryside, replace the government every 20 years.
Yeah.
Not with a revolution necessarily, but just like, hey, you've been in office 20 years, time to go home. That's it. And that was the best advice we ever got. But the thing I love about this is that there are 3 solutions to our wildfire problem. Number 1, Democrat elected in 2020. Okay, this doesn't solve the actual wildfires. It solves the funding of the wildfire
the money given to us.
Yeah, we are way past the point where we're going to do anything about the wildfires. We crossed, the threshold in like 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all just gonna burn. It's the earthquakes or the mudslides or the fires. They're gonna get us. But don't worry, Mom. I live in the center of a very concrete area. It can't get here. Every time there's a wildfire anywhere in LA, I get a call from my mom like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Ma, okay. I work in Center City. I live in Center City. There is nothing but concrete as far as the eye can see. The wildfire is going to have to jump 4 miles and land on the one tree outside of my office in order for me to be impacted by the wildfires. It's fine." One, Trump is defeated in 2020.
Mm.
I'm going to call that right now at a 70-30 shot of him winning again in
Okay.
2020. Two, California becomes a separated republic, which I'm going to put at 98 to 2. 2% being the
Against?
actual becoming. Yes, against. And three, and I think we're inching towards even odds, impeachment proceedings in the House, which were kicked off this week.
Can I make a quick fourth?
Yes, go ahead.
A wonderful story I heard.
This machine is designed to kill fast. Is that yours?
No.
Oh, all right. Because fourth, by the way, guillotines.
So-
all right, now fifth. Go ahead with your fifth. Yes.
Part of
I told you to get back to guillotines. I told you.
the fires in California here recently. They came perilously close to taking out the Getty and the Reagan Presidential Library.
One of those I'm okay with.
Well,
I'm not going to say which one.
interesting fact. The Reagan Presidential Library has a gardener who loves goat gardening.
Oh,
Do you know about this thing?
Yeah, just let the goats wander.
Yeah, they go and they like eat all the awful like weeds and stuff like that, and they don't touch the pretty flowers and stuff. They just eat all the garbage and all the brush off the ground.
And that saved the fucking library.
That literally did.
God
The fire got all the way up to the edge of where the goat's perimeter was, and then slowed up because there was no brush to keep the fire like burning like crazy. So
Listen,
what I would recommend to Gavin Newsom,
burn the Reagan library.
just fuck this place. That's just like maybe the answer has been goats the whole time, and we can just have goats roaming the countryside.
The whole state?
The whole state.
Oh, imagine the
Just
smell.
random goats.
Imagine the post-apocalyptic smell of California. Yeah, you thought going to the Eastern Shore was bad.
Set up a couple goats in the Santa Monica Mountains, let them do their thing. Like
We crossed the mountains coming back into downtown, and Corey's like, "Are we on the Eastern Shore? What's going on out here? It smells like the Eastern Shore out here." Yeah. But no, listen, I don't want any buildings to burn, especially a library, because I think libraries are very important. However,
this one has Air Force One in it.
yeah, and it's a historical artifact. It also has a replica of the street corner where Reagan was shot at, right?
Does it?
I think so. It's got like the limo and something set up there, and it's like, oh, here's the thing. Here's the car. It has the car and the plane. I thought maybe not.
By the way, I completely forgot to tell you about this. Did you hear about Tucker Carlson talking about Adam Schiff on his show last week?
No.
He literally like imagined an entire situation where Adam Schiff is the guy who shot Reagan. I can't remember his name now.
John Lee Brinkley or John Brinkley?
Yeah, something like that. He's just like Adam Schiff right now, sitting in his office, stroking a gun, thinking about how he's gonna get the love of Jodie Foster. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, no, he's not. Because Adam Schiff clearly doesn't stroke a gun.
Also, hates
like,
guns.
yeah, like-
Hates them.
And B, like you're comparing Adam Schiff to the crazy guy who tried to assassinate the president. Like,
Yeah.
like that's your go-to. Like,
Hey,
I feel like there's lines between those two people.
My original point is
You're either the CEO or the homeless guy out front. No, I think there's other things in between those two. Like,
wait, what? Where's my job in that? Homeless guy. Sorry.
You're
don't
either
know what to
Mitch
tell you.
McConnell, the most honest guy in the history of the Congress, or you're Adam Schiff threatening to kill the president. Just like, where did this come from?
There's like 495 of them. Anyway.
I hate to imagine what Ocasio-Cortez is doing in
she's
Tucker's twisted mind. Slave layout
First of
outfit.
all, as a female, I imagine it's something involving a Princess Leia costume. A gold
Yeah.
being strapped to Rush Limbaugh, probably. He's sitting in that chair at EIB Studios like...
Part of the excellence in broadcasting.
That's how I know you've been listening to it. You knew what EIB was. Yeah, see? Thanks, Mr. Baker. You've trained him well.
That's actually from Paul and Andy's office. I used to walk in there to be like, everything's good. I'm going to leave now. I've been here for 14 hours. It's just like, you've been listening to the Excellence in Broadcasting Network.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
I also
followed immediately by
like,
do you have an awful penis? Do you want to fix it? Call awfulpenispills.com.
Listen, there are certain words we can't say right now, but those people, you know who we're talking about.
I always like how the radio commercials for Rush Limbaugh programs sound like Joe Biden when he was trying to tell people to text his website.
Oh,
You remember the debate? Like, all the things are just like, do you have problems standing up? Does your back hurt all the time? Well, then call 1-800-painpillsforyou.com. And you can... Just like, what?
That's too many digits, man. That's too many digits. Yeah, just drop off the end. If you keep hitting buttons,
it
it doesn't
four
hear them.
FOR or is it a literal 4?
Still too many digits. I don't. There's not enough.
It's radio. I can't tell the difference.
Anyway, the joke that's not been stepped on about the Reagan Library is I don't want anything to get burned, but listen, they're fighting fires all around there. I'm pretty sure that library would have benefited just fine for some trickle down from the surrounding hills, and it would have kept it perfectly safe. Doesn't need any direct
let the
funding.
market figure it out.
The market will figure it out, all right? Everyone there who wants to protect their property will also protect the library because that's how things work. Back to the original topic, which is the House is impeaching the President of the United States.
Yes.
Officially now. So the House will be, in fact, or not will be, has in fact brought articles of impeachment. The investigation is beginning. But I think the example I used in the pre-show meeting is it's weird because it's a lot like the starter pistol at the beginning of a marathon.
Yeah.
Like everybody's all riled up and we're ready to go. And it's like, get to the line. And then, pow, and everybody goes running. And then you're like, you hear the announcer like, all right, Jim, here we go. 4 hours. Hope you're along for the ride with us because this is not going to be quick. It's going to be long and drawn out. I remember the Clinton thing dragging out for over a year.
Yeah.
And then going to the Senate, and the Senate was quickly like they just...
Yeah.
We've read all the evidence. We're going to have 1 week of hearings and then take a vote because they really thought they had him.
Yeah.
Really thought they had him. And then Bob... I almost called him Bob Hope. Bob Dole. Then Bob Dole decided... but he's the one who called the vote? I'm trying to remember. Yes. And he lost to Clinton and then took the great pride in calling the vote and then watched in horror as the vote came down and they lost.
Well, I mean, I think that
Old white men crying is my favorite thing.
Here's the question. I know we got a bit of a process ahead of us. The question that is in the minds of a lot of Democratic strategists, and I'd like to get your take. I haven't heard this yet.
Yeah.
If you were in charge of deciding how the impeachment inquiry was going to go forward, are you just focusing on this one really easy to digest story? The Trump asked the president of Ukraine for assistance in investigating a political opponent for aid that was supposed to go to them? Or are you opening it up to anything that could possibly be detrimental to the president and making it all part of the impeachment inquiry as opposed to just focusing on the one thing that's pretty easy for, and most Americans are like right in line with like Trump did wrong on Ukraine?
Sidebar just quickly.
Yeah.
I forgot producer Carly was here, and I just saw a little tuft of hair pop up over on the couch, and I was like, what the oh, that's right, producer Carly. Laying down on the job.
She heard me say, I've never asked you this before, and then she was just like, what could this be?
Okay, so...
this wasn't part of our pre-show discussion of which I wasn't involved.
Well, she was at the window looking at us. She reads lips. Don't let her fool you. Here's the thing. Have you ever been to the circus?
Yes.
And I'll say, even for those of you who might not have been to a real circus, Cirque du Soleil does this very well as well. The show in the middle of the ring is oftentimes like the flashiest show.
Yeah.
It's what they want you to look at, and it's really for the kids' entertainment. But oftentimes there's stuff happening in the other rings around that maybe a more discerning palette of entertainment might enjoy. Like, oh, there's a guy doing trapeze without a net. But over here, I got a dude jumping from ball to ball to ball, like balancing on a big round ball.
Right.
Which doesn't look that entertaining, but me, grown male adult, looks at that like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
But a kid is going to look at that and be like, he's just jumping. What's the point? Because you're dumb and you don't realize how hard it is. So I think that they should treat this exactly like we treat children at the circus. Because in the end, the American voter is essentially a child at the circus. So, yes, they should make this very simple thing the center of attention. The House, the party in control of the House controls what goes on C-SPAN. They control really the narrative in a lot of ways. Make that the thing. But that doesn't mean that, so I'm trying to think. So just which committee is going to do most of the hearings? It's going to be.
So they're breaking up the different things into different committees.
Right.
So,
and see, that's my point. Is that what you want to do is you want
like
to put,
judiciary is going to handle some of the lesser, like the side ring activities.
No, I think
like,
judiciary should do the main ones.
Okay.
Because that has some of the characters on it, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the clowns. I want to see the trapeze artist. I want to see all of the interesting characters on judiciary arguing about it.
Republicans and Democrats, because I think we
yes.
got Jim Jordan on the Republican side for judiciary,
And I am
so you could just have him yelling at some career diplomat, just going like, "How much has George Soros paid you?"
And again, that is exactly what I want to happen. Now we'll go over to Ways and Means.
Yeah.
And maybe they're having an emolument clause conversation
Right.
about like, what is the breakdown of the difference between in the budget of us landing our planes in Scotland versus landing them in northern England where the airbase is.
Yeah.
And why would we choose to do one or the other? That is a very boring conversation, but the difference is Trump personally makes $1,500 per night for every soldier who stays there versus them staying on base just 200 miles away. Not entertaining, but that is an expenditure, which is a Ways and Means discussion. Judiciary is about, was the law broken? And that's where we keep the discussion about Ukraine and all that. And there are a lot of these little topics that you can move over somewhere. There's a committee that controls the SEC. All right. Is any of this...
If you hear about Trump just handing a check to Stormy Daniels, you could just be like, all right, let's bring that to the middle circus.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing is anything big happens, you can shift it. But you have to be careful to say, I don't want this to become the center and then get complicated again. Because this thing in the center is simple and straightforward. And we're going to have 45 articles of impeachment to vote on. I want people to tune out after number 5. Because the first 10 are going to come from judiciary. But we all know, we as congressmen know that these are important. And we're going to vote on all of them. And maybe not all of them pass, but a lot of them will. Maybe all of them will. Who knows? But in the end, I think that the result is, if the American people see the top 5 are these very clear 5, that's why, I mean, in the last week, 18% increase in the number of Republicans who think impeachment is appropriate. Because they have done a decent job controlling the narrative and saying, like, listen, he can talk about that and that and that if he wants. Quid pro quo. This is what it is.
Yeah.
He said the thing. Here's the transcript. He thinks you're dumb because he said it's not that. Can you read this and tell me that it is that? And then some of the smartest people I know, some attorneys from some great states named after queens of England, don't know the details of those situations. Like, that's not what happened. It's in the transcript. He literally says it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then, by the way, goes on national TV.
Yeah, and says China should do it too.
So it's like, part of me, the logical part of me says, why are we having hearings? He went on TV and did it again. Let's just call it.
I mean, like, what really bothers me at the end of the day about this whole thing is that clearly anything that happens is just going to embolden him to do worse. Because he started doing this the day after Mueller testified in front of Congress.
Yes.
It was the day after. He's just like, I'm in the I'm in the clear now. And just the same as like when the Russian ambassador came.
Yep.
And it's just like they tried to get me, but now I'm good. Like every single time he tries to do something is because he thinks he's like in the clear now. So if you try to impeach him on this and then you don't get it, then I guarantee the very next day he's going to be calling up Rudy going like, hey, should we turn over? Should we go shake down Italy for some money? Like
again, this is a presidency that began 4 or 5 weeks before the election with a tape coming out of him saying, when you're rich and powerful, you can do anything you want and they can't stop you. You can grab them by the pussy if you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And we still elected him president. I mean, so yes, you've clearly emboldened a narcissistic psychopath. I'm not even gonna get. He's not really a narcissistic psychopath. He's narcissistic, but he's just dumb, and he's a child. If I made Maxon the president of the United States, these are the things he would do. I'd be like, hey, Mac, would you like more of this thing, or would you like to act responsibly? He'd be like, and just grab more of the thing. Like that's what it is. Also, his tweets probably would make just about as much sense as Trump's tweets. Now that I think about it. Also, when he gets
maybe
angry,
you would explain what kafafe is.
he probably could. Also, they have similar dispositions towards anger because at this point, I got a portal for my sister so that we can do face chatting a lot, or FaceTiming, but through Facebook a lot easier. And Maxon apparently, when he sees my face on the portal pop up, meaning that I'm just active, he will like run over and touch the face, and then when it doesn't call me, scream at the portal, and then run into where my sister is and scream at her, and then run back in and scream at the portal. Now all he's got to do is touch the face and swipe it to the middle of the screen, and it'll call me. But he has not figured that out yet. Yeah. For him, it's just touch it. And she sent me a video of him like tapping it and being like, "Whoa, whoa," and I'm just like, this man could be president. He could be president one day. He could fulfill all of my dreams.
He has the calm demeanor of somebody who needs.
Also, he really likes McDonald's. So I'm just saying he's firing on all cylinders towards the White House. So
speaking of somebody who won't be president,
me, is that what you're talking about? Well, here's the thing. I said I wanted to be president 20 years ago.
Yeah,
20 years ago.
Lots changed.
A lot's changed since then. But ironically enough, both I and Beto O'Rourke, who just popped on the scene, had the same chance of being president this year. So, congratulations.
Maybe they'll draft him at the convention.
Now, I mean, if they draft him, they better fucking draft him to run for Senate. That's all I'm saying. I know you're not going to.
Just one guy in the crowd just stands up in the middle of the whole proceeding. He's just like, anybody else miss Beto? Just like, yeah.
There is. All right, so I listen to a lot of history podcasts, so I'm not sure which one it is. There was one that talks about how Garfield got elected.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Literally, one vote on the 33rd ballot, somebody jokingly put his name on.
Yeah.
Then they run the 34th ballot, and he gets 30 votes. 30 out of like 2,700 votes.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, every ballot, it gets more and more and more. And come to find out, the person who cast the first ballot was a guy from Ohio. Garfield's also from Ohio. And he was just like, I'm sick of voting for these guys. Neither one of them's ever going to win. I'm just going to put anybody's name. Looked up, saw Garfield, wrote Garfield. That is how he became president of the United States, because people are
It'd just be like if one random person was at Quicken Loans Arena or whatever, and it's just like, hey, Martin O'Malley.
I will burn this motherfucker to the ground. I listen.
Just one Maryland Democrat just looking up, going like, "Hey, Marty's here."
I talk a lot of shit, but I swear to you, I will, like Pancho Villa, I will take to the wilderness. I will find you, person who put him on the ballot with one vote. You will be the first to go, and then fire will sweep this entire nation.
You will be the mockingbird.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Wait, I think I might have crossed the line right there. I'm not really sure.
To be fair, it was all hypothetical, and it was the end of the Union. So
yes, and also
it's just like you got to go back and kill John Connor. Like you're not really
Martin O'Malley getting elected. Somebody putting his name on the ballot for president. That's all I joke. Yeah. What's not funny the numbers for Terminator in this opening weekend. Speaking of John Connor.
Uh,
Yeah. By the way, I have been giving some thought to this. We don't have nearly enough splashes.
Yeah.
And I think that we should give some like thought to making a few more of recurring chapters.
like sports ball, like
Sports ball.
Yeah.
Right, because I think it's also good that we can start dividing it up into chapters and people can skip
on Anchor.
on Anchor, yes.
Yeah.
Because Roxanne was watching earlier. Roxanne, who's in New York. Thank you for joining us very late in New York. Basically came in, saw, and then sent me a text and said, yeah, no, you're talking about sports. I don't care. And just like jumped out.
Yeah.
And I think that like if you have those chapters that are like here, maybe some of you like sports and you stick around for the sports and maybe you want a little bit of something else, but not politics. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, give you a way to skip over the politics. Give you a way to skip over... maybe you want to skip the Baltimore news. You're heartless. The city is burning. It's a third world country. Don't you want to hear a couple of little stories about it? But no, just to give them a little thing. So I want you to give it some thought.
Okay.
About like what we can chapter up this stuff as. Because I think that we should be talking about movies more. And
Yeah,
just
I
entertainment
agree.
industry more.
Yeah.
We should also not wait till 110 in the podcast to get to the top.
Well, to be fair, we got lost in Fanatics conversation.
Which in and of itself is a little bit, maybe there's a chapter there about what's happening in our lives. Me with a No Shave November.
Yeah.
Corey taking on Fanatics, the largest Jersey franchise in the country. But so just give that some thought.
Okay.
And then also find some music, make a splash, put it together in Premiere, send it to me. I will do the tough work of creating a new button and getting it into OBS, and then we'll have it.
Well, I think all we need then is to figure out what this segment is exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm all for more splashes. I just need to figure out like what it is exactly. It kind of reminds me of like when they run for like Emmys and Oscars and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They have the for your consideration events.
Sure. Yeah.
It feels like that should be like the sort of like.
Are you saying you're at the level of an Emmy or Oscar voter?
No. But I'm saying like if you drive down like Barham or something like that,
sure, yeah.
You'll just see like a bunch of like the good plays for your consideration for an Emmy and stuff like that. Maybe that's the thing that like ties it all together.
I think similarly, any show you produce, the only way you'd get into any kind of consideration would be by putting up a lot of billboards everywhere.
Exactly.
So I think there's a connection there.
It's kind of like an inside Hollywood thing too. I don't know if everyone
people are just driving down Barham
like
and they're like, hey, there's the one-man show that CBS picked up where it's just a guy monologuing.
To be honest, really all I can think of is either we call this segment for your consideration or we call it HollywoodPoopshoot.com.
Oh,
so I don't know.
Now wait. Let's not be too hasty.
There's no such thing as bad ideas at this point.
The only concern I would have is that we might get a copyright strike from Kevin Smith.
Smitty might sue us.
Yes. Well, I don't even care about the suing. The suing, like,
I think.
What do I got, buddy? I'm homeless. I have no car. Everything I own is in boxes. Come at me, bro. Like, what are you gonna do?
I'd like to think that Smitty sees it and he's just like, no, let him go.
He's just looking at it. He's like, life has beat him up enough. I don't want to have any part of that. Anyway, yes. I'm just picturing because they're typing in a cow's ass while they're going to moviepoopshoot.com, right? It's the backside of the
it's the front of the.
Is it the front?
Yeah, he was like holding the laptop, like.
Oh, I thought it was like sitting up on his ass, like, but okay. That was funnier. Listen, Kevin, maybe take some advice because now I came up with a funnier idea. You're gonna talk about movie poop shoot, put it on his ass like he's twerking a fucking computer. By the way, this week I also watched the worst twerking competition I have ever seen. Just a couple of drunk white girls without asses trying to twerk.
The ones who don't have butts are the ones who like are just like flailing their lower vertebrae.
Don't just don't.
Just stop.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's get back on the topic.
So the latest in movie poop shoot.
Wait. Let's see what I got. Let's see what I got queued up here. What do we have? All right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
And of course, we got a lot of entertainment news this week. So we offer the next segment for your consideration. Oh, damn it! The image.
Everything is gone. Everything is gone.
I hate everything. Let me find it again. Oh, there we are. Yes. So I was hoping I was going to pull up the picture of the oyster-covered scooter from a few episodes ago.
Okay.
But I think that I may have
deleted
deleted the images and not the scene. So, oh well. Oh wait, here we go. I got you. Here we go. So, a lot of movie news coming out this week. So we're gonna offer this segment for your consideration.
Look, there is a rat in your unit. That is a fact, all right?
Why not have some classic cinema in there, right? You know what I mean? So, okay. Anyway.
Yeah. So Terminator, not doing well in the box office.
Yeah. Who could have predicted?
I could have predicted because I saw the last Terminator movie and it was terrible. It was horrendously terrible.
And Arnold was in that one as well.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what the last one was. What was the principal
It was
concept?
Amelia Clarke, Arnold. Oh fuck, that guy I really don't like. What's his name? He was in Chappaquiddick and Pet Cemetery. Jason Clarke.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
You really don't like Jason Clarke.
I don't like Jason Clarke. He was in it. Who else was in it? God damn it.
What was the concept though?
That the what we thought was going to end the world, like originally in the original Terminator movies, was incorrect. It was something that happened later, so we had to come back a second time. But this time, when we realized it, the Arnold robot was older now, so they had to send it back from further in the future to this point right now, where John Connor is not like a teenager anymore; he's like an adult.
Okay.
But
and wait,
everything
who was
just
playing John
goes
Connor?
like what?
Who was playing John Connor? Was it the Clark? No. I mean, it wasn't the guy you hate. And who was Amelia Clarke playing?
I think she was playing. I can't even remember. I think she was playing like a Sarah Connor.
And who's the Terminator? I don't even. This is why I didn't go see it. I'm confused trying to remember it. I can't even imagine what I was thinking when it was out.
Here's the problem with every Terminator movie: is they're trying to figure out some sort of way to bring it around to the one you've seen. I'm just randomly walking into Terminator Salvation. What the fuck is this? And then on the screen, like right at the front, it's just like, the war has been raging. We are in the middle of it now. And I'm just like, great.
And that's the Christian Bale one.
Yeah,
that was
I guess.
Christian Bale. Yeah, now I am down. The last one I was really into was Christian Bale, which was like this is not even in the timeline. We're in the future already. We're fighting Terminators.
We're already.
Gotcha. And then the one before that was the nerdy kid playing John Connor. And it ends up with the, Claire Danes. Claire Danes is in that one too. Do you remember that one?
No.
Claire Danes' dad was head of NORAD, which is okay. Suspend disbelief just a little bit. And then they said to stop.
I mean, like the big thing in the most recent Terminator, the Genesis one,
yes,
was that there was going to be an app that was released and was going to be automatically downloaded on everybody's computer.
I do remember that.
That was going to be the start of the robot uprising and stuff like that. It's like, we're 2 days away from clarity.
I remember that, yeah. Now, I did not see it, but I remember the commercials. And I remember saying to myself, oh, Game of Thrones, you've fallen so far from what are you doing here? But she did look hot in that leather, like, with the guns and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, she was fine in it in a movie that just had no purpose for being there. Like,
yeah. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go see Last Christmas. Probably
like it almost felt like every single scene she should have just like turned around and just been like, John, and then like there's a second it's just like, I'm getting paid today, right? Today is payday, in fact.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, and on that topic,
the editor just not on the cuts. He's just like, fuck it.
Close enough. On that topic, the one thing I think that we've missed the bar on.
Director's watching and he's just like, it's a funny Easter egg.
I'm only gonna see it if they're paying attention. The one thing I think we're missing the point on is, listen, I love a badass female character.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah Connor in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Right? Where she's just like whipping ass all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Dig it. And she's a little soft in Terminator 1 and The Terminator, but I think like she really comes into it at the end of that and then kind of in Terminator 2. But we don't need all of it.
Well, hold on. I will second your I love strong female characters who
Yes.
kick ass and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But much like every character who kicks ass, I want there to be a reason where I go like, oh fuck, you messed up bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You know, like John Wick is like, you know, like, oh yeah, he was a hitman for the mob, but then you kill his dog, and you're just like, well, fuck, now everyone has to go. Like,
And John
and
Wick,
that's when he starts mowing people down. You're just like, well, you killed his dog. I don't know. what you
John
want me
Wick
to
works
say.
just as well as Joanna Wick.
Yeah.
I don't care because the concept's so good that
Yeah.
anyone kicking ass like that, I'm down for. Also, though, I do like Keanu Reeves. I want to see him.
No, but I'm saying like Joanna Wick would be
Yeah.
fine. I just don't want like it
Ooh,
seems like
Olivia Munn is Joanna Wick.
it seems like there's a lot of like studio execs who's just like, is this woman strong? And it's just like, yeah. It's just like, good. Just make her indiscriminately strong for no reason. Like it's just
Yeah.
like she's just like the first scene of the movie. She's kicking down a door and she's just like, down to the ground, motherfuckers. It's just like, why is she here? What is she doing? Like,
Speaking of John Wick, there is a female assassin in that.
yeah.
I would really dig a prequel movie of hers because I feel like there's a lot of
Halle Berry.
No, wait, what? No, not yes. Okay, yes, her, but also in John Wick 2, the one who comes into the
Oh
Continental.
yeah.
I feel like that is a kind of like, and you know, spoiler alert.
Wasn't that Ruby Rose?
No.
That was
Was
in the
it?
third one.
The third one, yeah, she's in
Yeah.
the third one.
I always forget
Also,
who was
but
in the second.
Again, there's really great female characters in John Wick, and I don't know. I've completely
No, it
been
wasn't Ruby
subsessed.
Rose. It was the other. The one from Billions.
Yes,
I can't remember.
girl.
Asia Kate Dillon.
I would not know if you said it. I know her face. I do not know her name. So,
They're, yeah.
ooh, fun fact: guy from Billions went to Hofstra. The character, not the actual actor. So, anyway, I feel like this Terminator was a lot like, let's just throw a lot of women, and they're all strong, and they're gonna get kicked.
John Connor's a little bitch,
Yeah, and just like let's do this. And
Arnold
just-
comes back, but he's threatened by all the women. Like
and that's the thing. It's like, you know what? You can have strong men and strong women.
just
together.
one scene where Arnold's just like, damn.
I think though that they emasculated Arnold a little bit to make the women seem stronger, which by the way I think is a cheap way to do it. You don't have to make the men weaker to make the women stronger. You just make strong women because Michelle is an equal to Barack.
I just don't get like why executives at movie studios are just like, well, there's many reasons why a man can be strong, but why could a woman be strong? There has to be some. Did somebody threaten to steal her child? Is that why she's so pissed off? And it's just like, yeah, that's the only
Sure,
reason
the only
why.
reason. Proposition for you. Maxon is both president and studio president because I feel like he could pick movies about average to what they do right now. You know, put him in charge of Paramount. They're not going to do any worse. Or no, wait, Warner Brothers is probably better.
It'll be the new Bob Evans.
Warner Bros. Well, I was gonna say I was thinking Paramount because I'm like, oh, there's already there's a gap there, and maybe they need a 2-year-old to come in and do it. Ooh,
Maxon floating on the pool, just going like, "Kid Notorious at it again." Smoking the cigarette.
I really want to create that video, not without the cigarette. I don't want him to have a cigarette. I was thinking, hey, the guy going out really loves tits. The guy coming in really loves tits. So yeah, I feel like there's a solid exchange there.
Maxon comes in. He's like, "What can I say? I'm a fan."
Oh man. Anyway,
Oh, man. I feel bad that we've basically ruined Maxon's career in Hollywood before it's even started.
oh no. Do you see how cute that kid is? That kid is going places, and he's smart, and he's gonna be speaking like 5 languages.
We've heard a lot of talk about you on the O The Anthem podcast.
Yo, I'm gonna be like,
If
Will
only
Smith.
those guys wrote screenplays.
All these fantastic ideas and more available in screenplay form. I really want to do like a Jaden Smith thing with him. Once he learns to talk, more importantly, probably to read. I'd really like to shoot something with him. Maybe I'll start working on that. That sounds like a good proposition. Anyway, what were we talking about? Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like they said this cannot miss. 3 strong women in a Terminator movie. Let's do it.
How many times has that been said? Like,
Yeah. And it was a miss. And
Jason Clarke, Amelia Clarke. We got 2 Clarks for the price of 1. I mean, actually, we had to pay both of them substantially. But we have 2 Clarks.
It's fine.
Do you know how many movies have succeeded with 2 Clarks in them? Nobody knows. we learn now.
They have a 0% failure rate. I like what I'm hearing. All right. But yeah, it's just, how about this? Let's not go to the lowest common denominator. Let's not make a movie in 1 to 1.2 format that's in black and white and has no narrative.
Listen,
and no clear storyline.
I'm glad that movie exists, even if you don't like it.
I'm glad.
By the way, CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com for the new movie review.
Of
or
Lighthouse.
The YouTube. Yeah, The Lighthouse.
Which is what I'm talking about. And I'll have a review coming out later.
Are you going to do yours in black and white too?
No, I am not. I'm going to do it in, Duke Nukem Rage Face. That's going to be me. Spoiler alert. Don't waste your time.
You're going to have a similar reaction to The Lighthouse that I had to Terminator Genesis.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
Why the fuck is this around and who allowed it to happen?
I'm going to have a similar reaction to what you had to Ad Astra, only, more educationally based with a factual argument to back it up.
I said Ad Astra was fine. It just wasn't for me.
I was actually surprised by your review. I listened to it and I'm like, this is way softer than what I was hearing in the car on the way home. Look at you softening up to try and get likes. How dare you? How dare you?
What did I say so wrong in the car?
That was a piece of shit. I don't know what. I would never work with Brad Pitt. I would never work with anyone who had anything to do with this movie ever. You could not pay me to work, even for the studio that produced it.
I wonder sometimes if Rob just creates his own conversations when he's not listening to.
That conversation may or may not have happened, and it may or may not.
If it's just like every single time other people talk, Rob just hears like wah, 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 and you just assume.
I'm sorry, what? Sometimes that is a fact.
Moving on from Terminator.
Let's not do the other entertainment story because I feel like I really want to dive in, and we're at 126, so we should not.
Shall we quickly just drop in on the Baltimore corner?
I think it'd be good to take a little quick trip to the Baltimore corner.
Where you get the straight dope.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes. So I do want to just touch on this because I don't want to say offended, but Elijah Cummings' funeral was last Friday or the Friday before last because we talked about it on last week's podcast.
Yeah.
And body was not cold and in the ground before I think after we recorded on Monday, so Tuesday, the first person announced for his seat. And because Monday is when Hogan said we're going to have a special election.
Yeah.
Tuesday, somebody announced for the seat. And I think that there are 4 or 5 people who are either officially in or have mentioned that they may run for it.
Yeah.
One of them is not a Mosby, which we predicted it might be last week. But no Mosbys yet. There are, Joe Carter's in.
I don't think we have to say Mosby because it would be Nick or nobody.
You never know, all right? You never know.
I don't think Marilyn Mosby. Though I did see that Through Vignaraja is putting his hat in the ring for mayor.
Yes, he is.
Which means that maybe Mosby is going to try and split off the vote by having him run, and then she runs for mayor too.
Or
and all the people who think Through is going to stand up for justice.
Or Nick has Thiru getting in the race, and he's like, if it worked for the wife, it can work for me too. Here we go.
Through, how would you like to play spoiler again?
What do you got going on? You want to stay in the
How
case?
would you like to be the Miami Dolphins?
But so Joe Carter's in the race. Talmadge Branch is in the race. A state delegate and a state senator Those are reversed. Sorry,
And
Joe Carter's are senator.
Kwesi Mfume is
More importantly, Kwesi Mfume is he officially in, or is he like I'm gonna do it?
I saw a story about it with the tagged Twitter handle of Mfume for Congress, so I assume that
Yes.
it's official.
Now, and
I haven't seen the official like statement saying that it's happening, but I imagine if there's a Twitter account that like
yes. Unless somebody at the Sun was just like, "Ooh, Mfume for Congress." It's got 2 followers. It's been out there since like 2007.
I created, so he had to buy it from me.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I think for
I knew you weren't gonna. I knew you were gonna have to come crawling back at some point or another.
I may or may not have the Twitter account Run Wayne Run from 2012 or 14. When the hell were we talking about that? About him just running against Andy
Was
Harris?
it you who created that account, by the way?
I think so. I think that I have that account, Run Wayne Run.
Because I remember like Run Wayne Run asked you to like it or something like that way back when, and I was just like, "Fuck yeah, I will."
I'm pretty sure that I just abandoned that Twitter account after the primary, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I created Run Wayne Run, which is I've lived the lives of 3 men. I don't know what to tell you. But Kwesi Mfume, why is it important that he's in the race?
Well, he was the person who had that seat before Elijah Cummings did. Back when that seat wasn't the same thing as it is now, because gerrymandering.
Yeah, before redistricting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gerrymandering, but we call it redistricting when we do it.
When Democrats do it and it impacts Democrats and it benefits Democrats,
Yes.
it's called redistricting.
Yeah. And I think if I remember correctly, that Kwesi was basically...
When it's done in North Carolina, it's gerrymandering and it's wrong.
I think he
When
was
it's
actually...
done in Maryland, it's perfectly fine and legal.
I think he was drawn out of the district and into one, which became like, you're not going to be able to win that. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's the Eastern Shore District. Your name is Kwesi Mfume. You're the former head of the NAACP.
Well, you
in
see,
Baltimore.
I'm pretty sure he left Congress to be the head of the NAACP.
Oh, did he actually leave?
I
No,
thought he-
maybe when they redistricted him, he just left at the end of that term.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not entire because to be fair, Elijah Cummings has been in that seat for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Most of my life, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but Kwesi Mfume does not look his age.
Are you trying to come around to saying black don't crack?
He has got that...
Because the NAACP does not appreciate that kind.
Let's see, who were we talking about a couple weeks ago? Ah, damn. Samuel L. Jackson
Yeah.
looks exactly the same as he did in 94. Kwesi
Yeah.
Mfume also looks exactly the same as he did in 94. But yeah, Cummings had that seat for a long time. Before him was Mfume. And I think he's in the position, you pointed out in the pre-show, of just being able to say, like, hey, listen, this is a special election. And why are we going to kill each other over a special election?
Yeah.
I'm offering stability. I've
I
had,
had that seat before. I know how it works. I'll carry the torch from my good friend Elijah Cummings.
Yeah.
I'll get us through to the election, and then maybe I'll run. I don't know. We'll see how it happens. But in the meantime, I'll be a good steward of his legacy and his seat.
I feel like he did leave to go run the NAACP because he didn't run against Cummings when he ran. Like
No.
Cummings ran, I think, unopposed.
I think Cummings was sort of his pick. If I
Yeah,
remember
like,
correctly.
hey, he's actually still in the district. Vote for him.
Yeah.
I'm going to go run the NAACP in Maryland. And the national NAACP, I think.
I thought he was the
eventually,
head of the national.
Maybe he was
that point.
already the head of the state NAACP. I can't remember, but he was in charge of a chapter and/or the entire organization for a while. But he does have that ability.
He was either a senator or the president. I can't quite remember.
One or the other. But he has the ability to say, listen, I've had the job before. I know what it is. I also knew Elijah Cummings very well. I feel like I can carry his legacy to the end of this term. And then when we get to the fall, then we can fight amongst ourselves, and that's fine. But let's not beat each other up until March and then start it all over and beat each other up again starting in June. There's no reason for that. Because, like, by the way,
I think he just wants to be. He wants to get in that seat, and then he wants to stay in it.
by the way,
until he dies.
98% return rate. So once he's there, and that return rate applies to people who take over in special elections. The senator who died and his wife was given the seat by the governor, she was reelected at the end of that term.
Yeah.
Like, it's just people are not smart. And when you put senator next to your name or congressman, they're like, oh, well, he's already got the job, so he's fine. And sometimes they're appointed.
Yeah.
So, and essentially the primary for that seat, is the election. I can't see a Republican picking up Elijah Cummings' seat. I don't know. I don't want to speak out of turn. I just don't think any Republicans got what it takes. You know who might have it? Wayne Gilchrist. Listen, I am bringing back the Wayne Run. Wayne, I need you to move into the district.
Wayne pulls up to an old townhouse in West Baltimore with all his clothes on a stick, like hanging off his back. Just like, well, here's where old Wayne starts up again.
By the way, your Wayne Gilchrist voice, the same as your Denzel Cheek voice. Just old white guy from the Eastern
They're
Shore.
all the same people to me.
I wish my dad was Wayne Gilchrist.
Yeah, I don't imagine a Republican actually runs. I imagine there's surely going to be a Republican who runs, but he's going to be like, he's not going to get a debate with the Democratic primary winner. He's just going to have a whole lot of like, yeah, well, Baltimore is a shithole.
Yeah.
Just like Trump said, and then he'll get his 4% of the vote and he'll quietly go home.
Listen, I don't
and
think
shut
the
the fuck up
president's
forever.
wall goes far enough. We need a wall on the south, but we also need to wall off the Mason-Dixon to protect us from these liberals in the north poisoning our children. That was just my general redneck voice. I just went with the redneck voice. So yeah. Anyway,
Did you by the way, just reminded me, your racist redneck voice reminded me. Did you see the video of Tom Brady and greeting Ed Reed before the game?
No.
Oh, can I get your live reaction to this?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead and pull that up.
Real quick, because I said it before the show, hoping that we would talk about it, and then I completely forgot.
While you're pulling that up, I will
Yes.
say, speaking of racist stuff, you should absolutely be watching Watchmen on HBO. Find a way to watch it if you are, like friend of the show, Roberto, who just mooches off everybody. Hope he's still watching or listening. So find a way to watch it. It is fantastic. It takes place today. The original Watchmen took place in 1985. So it's been like 20 years, 30 years, 30-some years. And anyway, it's got a really interesting take. And I talk about in my Jojo Rabbit review, which is available now at Everyman Movie Reviews, that society's putting me in a weird place where I'm like, got a soft spot for Nazis and Jojo Rabbit, and like I don't know who to cheer for, the cops or the clearly white supremacist, racist terrorists in Watchmen. It's like no one's good in this, and I don't know who to trust or to cheer for. But they have, the white supremacists have a Nixon statue in front of their trailer park, so that's unfortunately a notch for the cops. I'm just hoping that there's something that I don't understand coming soon because it's driving me insane. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so for people who aren't listening at home, you can find this tweet at Black Adam Schefter, which was one of the greatest sports Twitter handles. I'm going to try and play this close to the microphone so they can hear it as well.
Okay.
But it's Tom Brady walking through the bowels of the stadium and seeing Ed Reed and recognizing him as the kryptonite to Tom Brady's Superman. And just tell me what you hear. Just take a listen. Hold on. Of course it wants to act.
Oh man, I gotta bring you here. I know you're my kryptonite. I gotta bring you here. I gotta bring you here.
One more time.
Oh man, I gotta bring you here. I know you're my kryptonite. I gotta bring you here.
They got to bring you here. They know you. They know you're my kryptonite. They got to bring you here. Is that what he said?
Did you not hear a possible word said after the kryptonite one that maybe Tom Brady shouldn't be saying to Ed Reed?
I think he said, "Of course they're gonna bring you here. You're my kryptonite. They'll bring you here, and maybe bring you here." Sounds maybe a little bit like a word Tom Brady shouldn't be saying, but I don't think he would actually say that.
All right.
Also, he's saying it to a black guy, and there's a camera in his face.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has enough couth, even if he would say it to his friends, not to say it in that situation.
All right. The internet is torn on it at the moment, so I thought I would get your reaction.
There is no way. Listen, I hate Tom Brady, but like he's one of the smoothest characters around. Has he ever had a gaffe in public?
Well,
He had two of the most beautiful women in the world pregnant with his child at the same time.
he did have the Trump support that did probably do something.
I mean,
to
okay,
it,
so
but,
that's
yeah.
a gaffe, but that was his
Yeah.
political leanings, and basically he's like, football's separate from that.
All right.
mean, has he said anything or done anything? Again, other than having the two most beautiful women in the world pregnant with his child at the same time.
All
Which,
right.
by the way, Tom Brady, can you leave some for the rest of us, honestly?
All right, fair enough. Well, we're one place where you definitely won't hear anybody slip the N-word.
Don't make promises.
I hope.
Where's that?
OTheAnthem.com. Core to OTheAnthem.com. O The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line. 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595. I knew I shouldn't have made those promises and then given Strom Thurmond a podcast.
Ah.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake. You can find... You can find more of my...
Strom Thurmond's ghost? Like, what? How is Strom Thurmond on a podcast?
This is the Strom Thurmond Ghost Podcast. I got a lot of things to say.
Yeah, listen, you dug up tapes of him from 48 and you ran them on the pod. That's not a podcast. That's your racist podcast. That's the Corey Baker racist podcast.
You can find more.
said
You can find my movie reviews at CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com, Facebook.com/Corey Baker Film, at LegendsCB5 on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. The most recent one for The Lighthouse is out right now. I did it a little bit different, so I hope everyone enjoys it because the movie's a little bit different. And yeah, we're going to go see a movie again here in the next couple of days. So I want to have another review out for Thursday and then we'll have a Monday the next week. So, more movies to see, more reviews to do. Let me know what you want me to do reviews on other than Terminator, which I ain't going to do.
Terminator. I say Terminator. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to do a review. There we go. See? So you can get, because you know what? I see the movies that you might want to go see. Not the movies I want to see. It's not about me.
Clearly, this is a movie that nobody wants to see.
Well, like 1,100 people saw it in Texas somewhere. It's fine. It's fine. So you can find more of me at Robert and Cheek on all your social networks. Make sure you check out robertandcheek.com where you can find links to everything I do, including the YouTube channel, youtube.com/RobCheek. Make sure you check out my new profile on Instagram, Robert and Cheek. And of course, I now have a new public page available on Facebook. Make sure you go and give it a like. Robert and Cheek. Does that surprise anybody? Huh?
But it's got the little dashes in it, right?
Now, I have to get the actual link. I just know if you search for Robert N. Cheek now, the number one result is my page, not my name. So anyway, you can find links to all of that. And on top of that, also the books, which are available on Amazon.
Barrow's Books.
And I want to encourage everybody. It is NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. I have not actually started on my new novel, but I already have the idea. I think it's very unique. If you are participating in NaNoWriMo, make sure you come and find me. Let's buddy up and let's do some writing. Not to add, a repetitive nature to this, but again, No Shave November. Come and throw a couple shekels in the old bin. It's for a fantastic cause for men's health and for generally, I get health in general, I guess, with the St. Jude's benefit. So,
Holy shit, we got to wrap this up.
all right. Looking forward to all that. So you can find all that and more on social media. Come and find me. And new episodes of the Everyman Movie Review Thursday and then some other day in the middle. I have Jojo Rabbit out right now, and I have I have batch recorded. So I have like 6 or 7 coming, plus the new movies we're going to go see because I do it all for you.
Wonderful. Well, I think we did good here today.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good.
All right. Well, that's it for the O The Anthem podcast. See you next
As
week.
always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem digital network. For Corey, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.